This week I have been up in the attic pulling out all the vintage treasures that I have been collecting for decor in our Thirsty Whippet Pub. Now I've been collecting for a while, and each time I find a piece I run upstairs in the attic and I put it in a big box I have up there. And so it's been a while since I've had a look through the box, so I thought I would get everything out this week and have a look at what I currently have. And I'm going to share my treasures with you because it's like Christmas has come early. I've kind of almost forgotten some of the bits that were in there. I've had for a while, and I was so excited to see all the different treasures I have. So I'm going to share those with you. And we also have our beautiful big canvas now in its frame, so I'm going to show you what that looks like too. So let's go and find out what I have that will be put on the walls and decorating the Thirsty Whippet Pub that I've been collecting. Ever since we decided that we're putting in the Thirsty Whippet Pub here in the Manor, I've been collecting decor pieces, vintage items that I want to use as part of the pub's decor. And I have a box that I have had up in the attic for quite a while, and each time I would find a piece, I'd put it in the box. And I realized this week that I haven't looked in this box for so long. I'd actually almost forgotten what I had already collected. So I've just brought the box down and I'm actually sorting through it to see what I have so far, and to see what else I want to find to put into our very, very quirky pub. And one of my favorite things are these legend chalkware heads. Now, I remember back in the UK, when I lived in the UK, I would go into the old pubs, the old English pubs, and you'd often see these on the wall. So when I saw, I think it was a set of 3, it was this guy here, this guy, and this one. When I saw these 3 come up at an auction, I was like, I have to have these. And at the time, we had no plans to put in a pub. I remember looking at them and thinking, I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to use those for and where I'm going to put them, but I just loved them, and it reminded me of the UK. So these were my first 3, but since then my collection has grown, and I actually have quite a few. So I have my original 3, and then Joelle from Montpre collection. Now, if you're ever looking for really unique vintage pieces that are just very, very special, check out Montpre collection and Joelle. I don't know how she does it, but she has an ability to find the coolest things. And so she's found me a few more of these heads. And I've got a couple here. And then for Christmas, she gave me a very, very special one. She actually found me a Santa Claus, which I just love. So I now have 7 of them in my collection, but I just think I don't think you can have a traditional English pub without having some of these heads. It's kind of a necessity. So what else have I got? So this week, actually, I picked up this, which just makes me smile. Unfortunately, it's missing its noise, which I don't know whether that's maybe a good thing, because I can imagine people making a lot of noise with this, so it's perhaps not a bad thing that the noise is gone. But this is one piece of decor I just love that I'm going to be putting on the wall. I also picked up this really pretty oil lamp. Now, oil lamps are very, very common, and again, it's something you would very, very commonly see in an English pub, and it's really how I remember pubs when I used to go to them back in the UK. The thing I like about this one is the glass work, and it's very simple but very elegant. So that's going to be ready for the pub. Now, this one, actually, Stephen picked this out. I have very vivid memories of going to the pub and last call. So when you get probably 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes before the pub would close, they would do last call. And so they would always ring a bell, and that was to tell you that it was last call. So you knew that you got basically time to order one more drink before the pub closed and you had to leave. So we had to have a bell because we have to do last call, right? So we found this one with the horse head, which I really love. So that's an addition to, and actually I was just looking through my box and I actually have a second bell. So I've got 2. which I'm sure Stephen will thoroughly enjoy making a lot of noise with. So I've got a couple of bells, which is very cool. Now these were actually donated to us, and I really love these. We actually have two, and like I say, I completely almost forgotten I had these. And so it's always a nice surprise when you have a box you haven't looked in for a while and you find all this stuff. So I have a sherry, we have a sherry and a Scotch one. They're actually Royal Victoria pottery from the UK. And it has on the back, let me get my glasses. It is W&A Gilby Limited, wine shippers and distillers since 1857. And I think they're just perfect. They're the perfect little piece for our pub. And I'm just really thrilled. We were absolutely thrilled when we were given these ones. So what else have I got in my box here? Very cool little pair of binoculars. Now I had these for a while, but I just love them. So these are definitely going to go into the pub. And I actually have a couple of kind of flasks that have come. Again, we were donated these. We've got a couple of, this one out, different flasks that I think are very, very cool. So we'll have to find a spot for those. And then every pub needs a horse. Now Joelle found me this one as well. And this is a really very, very beautiful, it's got a lot of scratches and scrapes, but I think that's what makes it so special. And this beautiful horse, and every pub needs a horse. So we have this really cool piece. Like I said, I don't know how Joelle finds it, but she comes up with all these amazing things. So we have the horse that's ready for the pub. Now this one, I really love. Now this one we found in an auction recently, and again, it's one of those pieces that for me, I think back to all the kind of quirky things that you would find on the pub, on the shelves, and there always seemed to be some kind of trophy for some reason. For some winning something. Now, the great thing about this one we found is it isn't inscribed. So we can actually use it for our own inscription and create our own trophy. But I feel like every pub needs a trophy of some sort. And I'm sure some of you are thinking I'm completely wackadoodle with some of my quirky things that I want to put in, but I don't know, I think it's just going to be really fun, and I think that's the one thing we want to do with our pub. We want it to be very warm and welcoming and traditional, but to have some quirkiness about it. So you'll have to wait to see what I do with the trophy. We also picked up this very, very cool crate, and I do love my crates. I have to admit, I have lots of them. But this one is a Sand Springs Ginger Ale, which I thought was really nice for the pub. And I love how it's got all the little segments inside for the bottles. So that's gonna be a great piece for decor. And another one of my really favorite pieces is, we're looking at different pictures. And obviously we're going to have a big canvas of Hendrix because he's our Thirsty Whippet. But we were donated this just stunning picture. And it's of the covered bridge back here in Upper Dorchester. Now this covered bridge sadly is no longer, it actually is gone now. But this is such a beautiful drawing, and I'm gonna get it framed, and we're gonna have this in the pub as well. Just really to tie into local, but also to give some really unique talking points. Because I know there'll be lots and lots of people in the local area who will remember this bridge. And you know, I look at it and I just wish that I could have seen it when it was still standing and driven or walked across it. But it's gone now. So this is all we have left, but it's always lovely to hear the stories of the people who do remember. So I'm really looking forward to being able to hear some of those stories in the pub when people are in who remember some of these things. So this picture is going to be going up, and I'm also sourcing a variety of other different pictures as well. And then I have one more piece that I wanted to show you. Now this is actually not for the pub, but it's so pretty that I thought you'd want to see it. It's one of the treasures that we picked up this week, and it's actually a chandelier. And what's interesting about this chandelier is it's all porcelain. So the pieces underneath the candles and in the center here are all porcelain. And it came with these very, very pretty porcelain flowers that actually go on. Let me just take this out and then I can show you. These porcelain flowers that actually go on the chandelier. So it's these beautiful porcelain roses that attach to the chandelier. So obviously that's not going to be for the pub, but it's just another really unique piece, and it's got some real charm and history and story to it. So I'm very, very excited to find a place for that chandelier as well. But I think that's all I've got at the moment. I'm going to be carrying on finding and collecting my pieces. I've got lots of ideas of how the pub is going to be decorated and put together, and there's going to be lots more little quirky pieces. But I thought I would share the treasures I've got so far so you can get a little bit of an idea of what it's going to look like. So it's finally time for us to get our beautiful canvas onto our board. So we have a piece of hardboard that we have cut ready for the canvas. I have my squeegee, and now the trick is to ensure that we get everything, the canvas put on with no bubbles. So Steven's gonna help me because he's a bit of a pro at this, and we're gonna get the canvas laid and then squeegeed out to make sure it's flat and stuck nicely on the board, ready for the frame. So now our canvas is on the board. We've just got our frame down, and we're just putting the board in the frame, and we're almost ready to turn it over and have a look and see how it looks in the frame. I'm pretty excited. So the canvas is in the frame and it looks amazing. The frame is just perfect, and it's going to look just spectacular up in the library. It almost feels life-size. Like, it's not until you get up close you realize how big this frame actually is. 4 foot by 6 foot, and it almost feels like you can step into the picture and be part of this amazing tea party they're having on the beach. So I just think it's going to be perfect for the library, and there's something about, you almost feel like you can imagine being there, which is fantastic. So all my treasures have been carefully packed away again. I'm going to take this upstairs to keep it safe, and I'm sure I'm going to have lots more to add over the next few months. But the exciting thing is, it's not going to be long before I can get all of these out of the box and onto the walls in the Thirsty Whippet Pub, and I cannot wait for that. So it's going to be exciting, and stay tuned because I'll share all the stages and the plans and the big decisions as to where everything's going to go. But for now, I'm going to take these back upstairs, and I'll see you next week on our next episode of the Ladysmith Manor Diaries.